Aramco IPO is something that has been in the expectations for such a long period of time. And considering the financial advisors and the banking institutions that are involved in the whole process, it is definitely going to generate a huge amount of interest as soon as it opens. But how it gets sustained over a period of time after it gets listed is what is going to actually reflect in terms of how the exchange is performing or how the listing is performing. So initial expectation is that there will be interest from the international market, mainly because of the hype and the pricing and the whole story that has gone behind it. Of course, that is subject to the pricing, which we still don't have any element of clarity on in terms of what is going to be the listed price to start with. That concern still exists for someone coming from someone who's considering themselves as an international investor, because as of now, even the exchange that is being listed locally, the major part of the investment is expected to come from within the kingdom itself, which is most of the wealthy Saudi nationals who are expected to contribute towards the funding of the initial listing at least. So from an international international investor's perspective, that doubt still is going to exist. We have not seen a drop in confidence when it comes to the actual oil market, but when we're talking about an investment into the organization in itself, that is going to be a completely different market, because people who trade in the physical oil market are not the potential investors, or they are not likely to be putting their money in terms of the traders' perspective, but it's going to be more on the financial market, who geopolitical risk is just one of the factors that they will be considering, and along with the various other factors that we spoke about earlier in terms of how open the book is going to be and what is the amount of transparency that's going to be made available. So those are the much more bigger factors than actually accounting for the risk element of the kingdom itself. Considering Aramco has promised like a firm dividend plan for till 2024, which is like a good 3-year period, I think that should give a good support for people who are on the line in terms of making a decision whether to go in or not. So that should give some kind of confidence to make sure, or to know that at least for the next 3 years, the investment is going to be kind of fulfilled by the dividend promise. Even from their side, the biggest concern has been to actually open their books in terms of the reserves than in terms of the earnings. But that being said, I think earlier in April this year was the first time they actually gave out their financial statements into the open market, which kind of showed how their financial performance has been for the first 6 months of the year, and what kind of revenues that the company is looking at, and how it varies depending on the volatility of the crude prices.